Welcome again to the BMI Calculator. Now I'll show you what we have done so far. We have implemented the metric system of measurement and trying this small numbers, 1.3 meters, and then with a weight of 30 kg. It brings up a value BMI as popped up and shown. You can clear that using that window. The imperial system is another system which you can switch to should you be working in a place that uses that the inches and or pounds for measurements. Is not working at the moment, so we will work at producing that so that we can demonstrate that. Okay, so you start by saying if event equals, remember it's a BMI calculator still, and the value is the imperial system, and that is true. Remember the double equal sign, then you should do this function, and that function we call it calc imperial BMI, open and close bracket, and you copy that as we often do. We're going to take that up and just below that we can def paste it there, full colon, and then we will define what that function should do. First of all, we say if the value, and what value are we looking for? Height, and we're thinking that if that value is empty, then a message should show up. So sg.popup, a bit of an error really to say, oh, it's an empty, just to draw attention of the person undertaking the test that height is required, but that has to be in inches. Should there be some error thinking that it's in feet, the next would be the weight. Remember, these parameters had been defined in previous videos, so if you're not conversant with that, go back and check it. Sorry, this was an error there, and of course correct it now, and it should pop up another error message saying weight is required in pounds. Okay, and that is very quite straightforward interface and communication. So you said if those are empty, messages should come out. Else, in other words, if all of that is okay, then you should try. This concept of try, accept, is very important because it will prevent the app from crashing. So we will define height as a float object, meaning that it could be decimal places. And so we put H to define weight, W to define weight. So the value that would have been entered inside height and weight is converted into a float object by this technique. Sorry, here I'm having an error here. You must make sure any error that is there should be corrected. Okay, so if the value in weight is converted to a float object, then the BMI And the formula for BMI again is weight and remember the value is actually, you have to actually multiply that in terms of conversion to 703 multiplied by that weight, which we defined that to be W. And so we walk through that at this point. They divide by the height squared. That is height times height. And then you have to then convert this to one decimal place for easy handling. And so this mathematical function known as round, whatever value of BMI is obtained will be converted to a decimal of one space. That is what this function does. And then we want that information to be put within a window. And all we're saying here is that, we want actually the window that you enter the height and the weight to be empty after you've done the conversion. And that is the update. You put window, put the weight and height, and then update with an empty quote. That will just clear the window for you. It's like resetting the window for the next entry. And keep following, and what we will do at this point is we would want to actually take this information and display them. But first, before we do that, I will conclude this part by showing a little bit of pop-up message. If there was some unresolved issue, it would show up as well. This is just a cleaning up of a code that ensures there is nothing left off. That prevents the app from crashing. Okay? Right, but remember, we need to handle the BMI and place it somewhere. So BMI /R, we want to place it within a declared zone. Okay? So it's just exactly what we have done in the past. So we actually copy those information, all of it, because the BMI is the same. A clean copy, and then we're going to paste it down, just so that making sure the indentation is not all over the place, just exactly as smoothly as you can see there. Then we can demonstrate that. Run the app now and let us see what it looks like. Okay, so the same thing, but let's look at the functionality. See that? Metric system, imperial system. But let's test how it functions in terms of the values would enter and what will show up. So we'll go over, we've shown the metric system already, so let's go on the imperial system. So we will try to get some conversions from Google, convert meters to inches. Well, let's say somebody is 70 meters, and that would be of course, ridiculous height anyway. You don't want that kind of height, but let's imagine that as a test, really. I would just bring that up and test within the app, and then we'll then look for the conversion to pounds. Well, this is really quite strange. Somebody cannot be 70 meters, but we'll just do some changes here. And this is kilograms to pounds now. Okay. Right, so that is 154. That's 70 kilogram. 154. Again, I think it's only fair to put the right figure there, really. So let's go back to our meter to inches. Do a conversion that is a bit realistic. So let's say this 1.78. So it's 70 inches. And we'll clean up that one. And then we'll do a calculation and see. Alright, so the value is 22.1, which is realistic, isn't it? If you put the same value for the metric system, you're going to have the same outcome there. Okay? Change it to metric system now. And then see that? Just about that. So really, it's an accurate app that has fully been able to demonstrate how you can achieve this. Well, if you like this, please give a thumbs up and join me for the next tutorial.